Welcome again to my new YouTube channel. This will be the third episode. My focus for this episode is basically to discuss after the initial diagnosis, what process I went through mentally and just the research and how I managed my stress and my emotions at that time. As I had mentioned before, when I first was diagnosed, I decided that my first goal is going to be to understand what I was diagnosed with. So I went out and Googled. I also used other references. I consulted with the doctors. They sent me information using, I believe it was my chart, as well as other printouts. And I also explored other social media sites and learned about other people's journey, specifically combating breast cancer, being that that's the cancer that I have, along with other channels that focus on beating cancer and understanding the biology behind it. So I learned about what feeds cancer cells, and I changed my whole focus on diet. I think that my diet, even though it wasn't horrible, needed to improve, and drastically. So I looked at keto. I looked at other diets, the carnivore diet. I looked at not necessarily vegan, but a raw only diet. And also looked at just assessing what I enjoy, how can I modify it, just getting rid of other possible toxins, like removing the tap water from my diet. So I ended up going to this natural source of artesian well water that I have access to. Obviously, if you use filtration water, that might be a good option. Juices, natural juices, went to organics. But I did a lot of research and understanding that cancer generally, as many of you probably know, that it feeds on sugars, not just regular sugar, so your candy and all those other goodies, but your carbohydrates. And I like carbohydrates. So I went ahead and modified my diet, which I will go into in another episode as far as the various diets that I did a deep dive in, and basically a solution I've come up with for myself that I'm comfortable with right now. But just to say right now, I do a mixture. So I do kind of like a whole encompassing type of focus. So I focused on getting rid of any chemical based type of waters, and tried to go more natural. I tried to incorporate more organic types of fruits and vegetables. I prefer raw vegetables, so that's not a big task for me to take on. And I love fruit. So I basically explore using dried fruits, of course, trying to limit the added sugars being done to them. And I also limited my carbohydrates. And but again, I can go further into it in another episode. I would say the other steps that I took was just to change my outlook. That okay, now I have a battle. Now I need to, do whatever it takes to beat it. So it became almost like a competition for me. And I'm a very competitive person. So my goal is to, I'm gonna find solutions that work, that my numbers will go down, and just try to be positive. Also, I wanted to remove any negative feedback or any negative possible um, uh, inputs around me. So I limited more of my social media to focus on research, things that I enjoy. I love fishing. I love outdoors. I like exploration, study of anything strange, mysteries. So I wanted to kind of uh, bring a level of comfort and just sometimes a mental break from the reality of what's happening with me, so that I can calm down and relax in the evening and try to sleep. I tend to have issues with insomnia, or getting to sleep is more like it. So I work through it by at least a technique works for me, which is I tend to, especially with this new medication and other medications and just in general, I have to, well, basically, I fall asleep in front of the TV. Used to, that never happened, but now it's a little more frequent, and and my body's just saying, hey, I need to rest. So when I get ready to actually sleep and lay down, sometimes it's difficult for me to fully sleep and relax enough to fall asleep. So what I do is I have a TV in my room. You could use also a mobile phone, or even like an ebook or something to keep the lights really low, and maybe listen to like background noise, or listen to um, uh, someone else's channel that discusses something that normally maybe will trigger you to fall asleep in a chair or something. That's what has worked for me. So I also say that you definitely need to talk with your medical team, discuss about any concerns. They're there to answer questions that you may have, discuss not just the current medical treatment, but expand on what could be treatment in the future. I definitely advocate more of a wholesome approach, that if you're going to incorporate any alternatives, in my situation, I wanted to tackle cancer from all directions. So I use the traditional, more medical based treatment that my care team has laid out. Follow all the protocols, the scans, and the blood work, and and taking your medicine. If you have any issues with it, discuss that with your care team. But also, if you want to incorporate any alternatives, that in my case, I didn't want to mess around. So I'm using alternatives. And I'm just going to, beat up on this cancer as best I can. So I'm going full force. The only thing about diet that I haven't really explored, I've read and followed other people who have also done this, is intermittent fasting. Again, do your own research. But basically, my whole approach to everything was to be positive as best you can. I mean, this is very difficult, so sometimes it's hard to be up. And don't beat yourself up. I think that at times I've been very quiet about my diagnosis, not really sharing it with people. I tend to think that people will, sorry, I've again a cat that wants to, Jean Tom wants to join in the video. So anyways, I want to just emphasize it's your journey and you have to take ownership of it. I didn't want to include a lot of people in sharing my diagnosis. I think that sometimes, especially if they hear stage 4, that's pretty serious, and it is. There will be people in your life that may disappear, or they may not want to talk with you for whatever reason. And just finding things that you love to do, a tight-knit group of people maybe that can surround you, and just find ways to make your life as enjoyable as possible. I think that sometimes, in my case, the focus on being very active, exercise, things that I love, those things are important. And spiritually, there again, I don't want to harp on the spiritual side because everybody, many people's beliefs are different, and their their outlook on just the spiritual side of things is so broad out there, and I don't want to basically alienate or focus on something that's not that's more personal to everyone. And in my case, I have my own spiritual viewpoint, and so I don't want to emphasize my spiritual beliefs on anybody else. I tend not to do that. All I can say is that is another weapon to combat this cancer. So cancer, I don't think that there's just one solution out there to battling it. I think that for me, the an all-encompassing approach is a healthy way to go about it. But anyways, that's kind of a brief overview of, I think, the next stage that I went through, which was, let's put one foot in front of the other and keep going, and let's tackle this problem. For those who are in the beginning stages of your journey or friends or family. That is, I think, a good approach, and maybe that would help you to approach it that way as well. But I cannot emphasize enough, research and information are your friend. Those will help guide you in decisions in the future, and being open with your care team. I'm lucky that I have a good relationship with my care team and my doctor. I think it can be kind of difficult if you have a care team or your doctor that you're uncertain about, or they're just not, you don't have that relationship. There again, I recommend, taking hold of your journey and determining what's best for you, and not listening to other people, and just doing things that you're being told. Do what you're comfortable with, and modify what you're comfortable with, and understand this is your battle. It's not being selfish, focusing on yourself. I tend to want to focus on others and animals, and because I have a small farm. And again, you'll see cats occasionally in future videos, so I apologize ahead of time, but they'll make a cameo appearance. But yeah, so until next time, I'll have another video discussing probably researching diets and foods, and some of the information I've come across, and some of the other channels that I've watched, and maybe provide some resources there for you to make your own decisions and learn along with me. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. And again, this is a new channel, so I will be improving as time goes on, I promise. But initially, this is a virgin voyage. Thank you.